lot of ladies dividing their cycle by 2 and taking 3 days above and 3 days below. If you do that, you will be right for some particular cycles, like cycles from 26, 27, probably above 30. But for very short cycle, you will be wrong. If you've been doing that, please stop it and you follow the right way of doing things. Hello everyone, thank you so much for joining us on this episode of our health discussion. On today's discussion, we'll be looking at how you can actually avoid mistakes when calculating your menstrual cycle. If you are joining us for the very first time, please do us a favor, click that red subscribe button and hit notification. If you have been here, may God bless you, continue to be with us. So we are going to look at how you can actually avoid mistakes when calculating your menstrual cycle. The very first point is you should avoid dividing your cycle by 2 and adding 3 days before and 3 days after. But if you understand your cycle completely, meaning you've understood that your cycle is this specific number, then you can go ahead and divide, because dividing your cycle by 2, it will help in some cases, but in some cases it will not help, especially if your cycle is very short. Let us take for example, the shortest menstrual cycle is actually 21 days and the longest is 35 days. You need to understand that fertile window, a woman is technically fertile just 7 days within her menstrual cycle, and the ovulation days and the days around ovulation are those few days that she is highly fertile. So we are doing all we can to actually make sure that we can have this ovulation day in the days around ovulation. Let us take 22, which is one of the lowest ever menstrual cycle. Remember, the lowest is 21. If you take 22 and divide by 2, what are you going to have? You're going to have 11. If you take 3 days after 11, so you're going to have 12, 13, 14. You take 3 days before 11, you're going to have 10, 9, and 8. So from day 8 to day 14, that will be your fertile window if you're dividing by 2. But actually, people of 22-day cycle will ovulate on day 8. They will ovulate on day 8. And you take 4 days before day 8 and 2 days after day 8. Meaning the fertile window for someone who is 22-day cycle will end on day 10. But if you are dividing by 2, you see that it will extend right up to day 14, which is not useful. And you will actually keep out the main days, which are day 8 itself, which you will include in your own, but you will not include day 7, which is very vital. You will not include day 6, which is very vital. You will not even include day 5, which is also very vital. So our point here is that avoid dividing by 2, because if you divide by 2 and your cycle is very short, like someone who is 22-day cycle, you will actually get it wrong. So avoid dividing by 2. That is the first error that most ladies do. But if you understood your cycle, if you counter your cycle and you see that your cycle is actually 28, 29, 30, 31 or above, then you can go ahead and divide by 2 and you add this. You will actually not far from the truth. The next mistake that people do is that you count your cycle beginning after your menstruation has stopped. The very first day you start menstruating, that is day 1 of your cycle. So avoid counting your very first day as the day after your menstruation has stopped. No. Your first day should be the very first day you start menstruating. So avoid this mistake. These are some of the mistakes that ladies do. So if you can avoid this mistake, it's going to help a lot. The next is the use of the app. You know, this is now the world of Android, the world in which we are all struggling to have everything around us. So there are actually apps that you can follow your menstrual cycle. Before you use that app, make sure you understand some simple things about the menstrual cycle, because you will need to key in some information. For example, if you don't understand that the very first day of menstruation is your day 1, if your app is asking you to indicate the last day you menstruated, you will probably be thinking that no, the last day will mean that the day I stopped menstruating. No, the last day actually means that the last day you ever started menstruating will mean that the very first day you started menstruating for that particular month. So before you use your app, make sure you understand some of these basic issues about your menstrual cycle before you use your app. If not, please, you avoid using that app. You may actually go on with the normal way of doing things like what we have been explaining. And what is this? Understanding how to calculate. Next thing, you get your ovulation. Next thing, you get your fertile window. If your cycle is irregular, make sure you use your ovulation test. It helps you and gets you to know that this is when you ovulate and this is your fertile window. Get the link of this one which we did the video sometime about last month. The next thing that you also need to avoid when doing your menstrual cycle calculation is that, you know, some ladies actually feel that everyone is 28 days. So everyone is not 28 days. Everyone is not 28 days. You might be 28 days, but your sister may not be 28 days. So avoid it. Avoid thinking that everyone is 28 days. If you can avoid this, obviously, you will calculate your cycle well and you will have the right figures. We hope this is going to help a lot of ladies out there. So if you have any issue, please keep us a comment. And if you have maybe a proposal, also keep it in the comment section. We'll appreciate you doing a constructive comment for us. Thank you very much. Please, if you consider this material helpful, share it to friends, share it to family members, and please do have a wonderful time. May God bless you. Thank you so much for watching this article. We really do appreciate. We are Check Your Health and Maintain Your Wealth. Here we discuss reproductive health and social health on this channel. If you are someone who loves any article on reproductive health and social health, then this channel is for you.